that I had years ago, Angeles Arrien, and she has a book. She was a cultural anthropologist, author, educator, and corporate consultant, The Fourfold Way. One of the reasons I think I have been attracted to this book is if we think about society in relationship to our individual selves, things are moving quickly. I'd like to say time is speeding up, but it might just be our perception that time is speeding up. And one of those reasons is we're on screen so much. We're losing track of what time of day it might be, and even the seasons. And the honoring of seasons is something I've been reflecting upon. And what I looked up with her is Angeles Arrien talked about cross-culturally, there are many different perspectives from the indigenous people of each continent regarding the directions and seasons. However, the majority view them as presented here. So the way of the warrior is the north and it's winter. The way of the visionary, the artist, is the east and it's summer. The way of the healer is the south and it's spring. And the way of the teacher is autumn and it's west. And also being in autumn, the instrument is sticks and bones. The healing salve is silence. And the kind of meditation is sitting. And each one of these directions has a certain meditation. For instance, the warrior is our power, and the meditation is standing. It could even be walking. And the visionary, the artist, the instrument is a bell, being summer. And the kind of meditation is faster walking. The way of the healer is laying down. You know, the healing is a drum in its spring. And then that way of the teacher is sitting meditation. And we're all, you know, if we're in autumn, we are all teachers, and we're all learning how wisdom, because it's basically learning to trust and wisdom and to bring it to our art practices. That's what I want to talk about right now. The autumn is really not only about right timing and sitting in silence and being able to trust our instincts, because it's when we just say, oh, just trust. I mean, that it's like, okay, those are words. That's cognition. How do I take that in my body and actually learn to trust and to trust my own art practice or where I'm at, have it be a lull or have it be a high, and how to keep it, you know, centered in the middle. And one of the wisdoms is open to outcome and not attached to outcome. And the other one is detachment. When we practice our trust, which is how wisdom grows, our wisdom, our internal selves, when we step back from a group of paintings, one painting, two paintings, a pot, a piece of sculpture, whatever we're working on creatively, you know, we can get so immersed in it. But as professional practitioners, and I don't mean, okay, I'm out there selling, but somebody who's really mastering their craft. And mastering their craft is not just the object they're making, but the process, the dive deep, if you will. How does wisdom grow? Through clarity, objectivity, discernment, and detachment. So it's about learning to get comfortable in the absolute not knowing. You know, I see so many people that come to working with me and they are making fantastic work. They feel great. They've got a flow, but it's inevitable that we all kind of hit a wall. And all that means is we're growing and we're getting better. And the transition gets not painful, but it's growth, right? So it's like we make this work and then we hit some wall and then we have to get the gas station period of birthing a new way of working. And when we learn to trust that, we come upon not only ourselves, but teachers that are sometimes tricksters that, where we either shock ourselves or somebody comes along and shocks us into seeing where our attachments are and our habitual patterns. The opposite of trust is trying to control the uncontrollable. I've done it. I'm guilty, trying to control the uncontrollable. And where we don't have our sense of humor with something is really where we can see where our attachments are. The individual or us as beings, when we have difficulty, it's usually, not wanting the unexpected in our work because we feel like we're getting into this groove. And when something unexpected comes, like a challenge or not working the way you want, that's, where the rigidity comes in. And when we can discern, when we really discern, it's the ability to stand back, and objectivity is to care deeply from an objective place. That's the way of the teacher as well. Your own wisdom, me with you with others, you with the work itself, to care deeply from an objective place. That detachment, when we are able to calmly start observing our reactions and not get pulled into an emotional position. I've been guilty of doing it. Then we are able to harness, so it's a practice. Every time we feel we're having this attachment or this rigidity or something that is wanting to be controlled, the more we as human beings are able to slow it down and say, okay, where can I find the humor in this? Where can I not be pulled into the emotionality? If your work is coming from an emotional place, yes, that's brilliant. I want my work to become from an emotional place as well. But when I can care deeply from a detached position, I think that's the goal for me. And then witness it and go into the silence. The sitting meditation, if you will, could just be sitting and being with the work. And another aspect that I won't go on into too deeply, but we as Dive Deep participants have touched upon, is the calling in of the ancestors, those that have passed or those that are with you, or animal spirits. They say, the male comes from the right, the female to the left. It's like angels at our backs. And that might appear a little woo-woo, but when we really realize we alone are the ones that are making our works, and it's not about outer people opinions, really, when we want the deepest work, but it is guidance from other sources, and that's just one way to get another source. So when we move into our ritual of what it is you're going to want to share in the next 3 months, it's really that rendezvous that I talked about at the beginning. And ritual in Indo-European lingo just means to fit together. It's related to art, it's related to skill, it's related to order, weaving, and arithmetic. It's order, and so my question I bring to you that I set on your table is, what is your deepest ritual of bringing order to your skills? So the next 3 months will be a witnessing of the transition that you are embarking upon of bringing your work to the next level. And it's different for everyone. Some of you, it's more about showing in the outer world. Some of you, it's about going even deeper internally, in the privacy of your studio. Yeah. And I am going to do a meditation with you all on the West and the way of the teacher. So I will be ringing the bell. You want to get yourself in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes. Feel yourself grounded wherever you are, whatever state you're in, whatever room you're in. Feel the outer parameters coming in, closing in to where you're actually sitting, giving yourself a 12-foot parameter of protection in front of you, either side of you, behind you, and below you. Maybe sense a color that permeates this auric field. Imagine you are the center, being in the center of your own universe, where you have the north, the south, the east, the west, and you are in the center. I want you to imagine you in the center with a golden thread connected to your heart. And as if it could tug, like as if you could grab that thread in front of you. And in your mind's eye, stand and move to the west. The West in many cultures is home of the sacred dream, the setting sun, the wisdom we have gained through our life. The element is water. Imagine where you might be in the West, where water comes into your vision. The protective elementals that work with us in the West are the water creatures. Perhaps a water creature comes to visit you. Take a moment to see if anything arises. Does this water creature have anything to say? Symbols of wisdom. As you sit at this precipice of the West, taking in your surroundings, sitting down, feeling the silence. When we are in the way of the West, of our internal teacher, we are in the rhythm of right timing. We are open to outcome, but not attached to outcome. we were to make music in this silence, it would be the bones that clack together in rhythm. Just take some deep breaths to be with your inner teacher. And now gently thank the space that you have been visiting in the West. And from sitting, you bring yourself up with your golden cord, leading the way back to your place of centeredness, of where we began. And you might imagine the center of your heart where the golden thread connects you to the West, where you can visit anytime. And when you are ready, gently wiggle your toes, your fingers. And when you open your eyes, ground yourself by bringing in 3 or 4 things in the room. Okay.